Let's start our week with the Superintendent Sit-Down. We're asking what the most important things are to school districts and what problems education systems are facing. In this edition of the Superintendent Sit-Down, today we hear from Walla Public Schools Superintendent Wade Smith. What are some of the goals for the 2023 to 2024 school year for the Walla Public Schools?
Yeah, great question. It's such an exciting time here in Walla Public Schools as we kick off our Vision 2030, our new strategic plan. And so this builds off our previous plan that expired this school year as we launch into the next 7 years. And we're really focused on 4 primary goals. And many of these are a continuation of the great work that has been accomplished these last 7 to 8 years around ambitious learning for all students, around making sure our classrooms provide the relevant and rigorous educational experience for all kids, making sure we focus on our culture of equity and belonging. And last, but certainly not least, one of the strategic plan goals I'm so very excited about is a renewed partnership with both parents, family, and community in our school systems.
What are some of the challenges that you're facing in achieving these goals?
I view it more as an opportunity, and I think, in the onset and as we've wrapped up the pandemic and we look back, one of the things we really missed was that partnership with families and community. I mean, for a better part of a year, again, our schools were forced to lock parents, families, and community out of our school system because of the safety and situations surrounding the pandemic. How do we re-engage our family and parents back into our schools? How do we re-engage our community, our retirement population, our businesses back into our school systems? And that's one thing we're really focused on, because in Walla we have such an incredible asset of parent community support, and we want them to feel comfortable coming back into our schools and finding ways and mechanisms for them to engage in our classroom settings, whether it's a grandparent wanting to read to a student, whether it's a parent or a retiree wanting to come in and maybe shelve books in the library or volunteer in a kindergarten classroom. To see the magic that happens every single day in our schools and across our classrooms, that's an opportunity I know many of our community want to participate in, and our goal as a district is how do we bring them into that and provide that mechanism for them to re-engage in our school systems.
And you were mentioning the pandemic. How did the pandemic affect students in the Walla Public Schools?
Well, again, great question. Like I think we've seen across our state and nation, deeply impacted our community, our students, our faculty. We all are still reeling in the impact of the pandemic. What I am very proud of is how our community rallied around our youth. We had so many agencies, whether it was the YMCA and other, again, not-for-profits who, again, helped support our students during that transitional time, supporting a safe place for them to learn remotely. Our parents who just stepped up with yeoman's expectations and abilities to reach their students and support their students during that distance learning model. But no doubt our students struggled with that, both the isolation and how do we re-engage them back into the school setting. And obviously the social emotional health, deeply concerned about, and some of the programs that I'm very pleased is how we've partnered with the health center. It's a non-for-profit that offers counseling for our middle school and high school students in our school settings. We've leveraged Hazel Health, a teletherapy program that helps bridge that gap when parents and students need access to mental health therapy. That can sometimes take months, if not multiple months, to get in to see a local clinician. How do we provide this teletherapy to bridge that gap, to provide that immediate and urgent support, and then help that student transition into some private mental health therapy sessions? So we're really continuing to wrap our supports around our students from the social and emotional aspect, and really as we've come together as an entire community in support of our students.
And this is just a piece of my long conversation with Superintendent Smith. You can find the extended version on our website or on our YouTube channel, Apple Valley News Now. Next week, we sit down with Superintendent Trevor Green with the Yakima School District.